Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. We will let some folks join the webinar and we will get started shortly. So just in a couple minutes. Hello, everyone. We will get started now. And welcome to this year's Penn State Alumni Travel Showcase. I'm Jenny Harchak, Assistant Director of the Alumni Travel Program here at the Penn State Alumni Association. I'm a proud 2014 Penn State graduate, and I've had the privilege of working at the university for the past 9 years, 2 of those in my current role. I'm so excited to be with you today to highlight what's ahead for our incredible travel program. Tonight, we're thrilled to unveil our brand new lineup of 2026 travel opportunities. We've handpicked 33 unique and unforgettable journeys around the world, each designed to bring Penn Staters who love to explore, connect, and experience the world with a sense of pride and community. While we'll only have time to dive deep into a few of those trips tonight, the full list is available on our website. When you join a Penn State alumni travel trip, you get more than just a vacation. You get access to in-demand destinations, the camaraderie of traveling with fellow Penn Staters, peace of mind through organized group travel, and the opportunity to connect with Penn State representatives, often faculty members, who bring an added depth and meaning to your experience. A few housekeeping notes before we begin. We are recording this session and live closed captions are available. You can access those by clicking the closed caption button at the bottom of your Zoom window, then selecting Show Subtitles. A stream text link will also be shared in the chat if you prefer to customize your caption view. We'll leave time for Q&A after each presenter, and there will be a chance at the end to ask general questions about the Alumni Travel Program. Keep an eye on the chat box for helpful links and feel free to submit your questions in the Q&A box throughout the showcase. We'll answer as many as we can. Now let's get started. We're joined by 4 outstanding presenters from our trusted travel partners, each ready to share a glimpse into the exciting adventures awaiting you in 2026. You will hear from Dan Stipa from Orbridge, Mike Hall from AHI, Claudia Dunn from Odysseys Unlimited, and Josh Ogden from Go Next. Kicking things off is Dan Stipa, Senior Vice President for Sales and Guest Services at Orbridge. He'll be introducing 2 of Orbridge's featured trips for 2026, Italian Lakes and Swiss Alps by Luxury Train and the Galapagos. Let's hear from Dan now.
Thank you so much, Jenny, and thanks everyone for joining us this evening and or watching this stream after the fact. I would look forward to having you join our friends at Penn State and us at Orbridge on a journey of a lifetime in 2026. And so on the next slide, you will see a little bit about our journey. So we are a tour operator that was founded back in 2027, or I'm sorry, 2007. We are headquartered in Washington State. So just a short ferry ride over from Seattle, Washington. And we have been a tour operator for over 140 alumni associations. And that's a real point of pride for us. We have been a partner with Penn State for 12 years. And one of our key missions is working exclusively with the educational nonprofit market. So all of our guests that we have the pleasure of welcoming on tour around the world come to us through one of our esteemed alumni or other nonprofit travel providers. And so, as you'll see on the next 2 slides, we have had the pleasure of taking Penn State travelers all around the world. And so, on the next slide, you will see some of the points of pride for us that make our experiences unique. First off, is that we really pride ourselves on being a destination specialists. And so our itineraries are handcrafted by experts who have spent time in the field, in country where the tours are happening. So these are high-end experiences, but at an accessible price point. And so, especially this day and age, we're really proud of being able to provide these types of experiences. The content that is provided on all of these programs is of the highest educational value. As I said earlier, we take a lot of pride in the fact that we are exclusively working with educational alumni associations and other nonprofit organizations. And with that comes, there's an inherent sense of intellectual curiosity. And so, whether it is an exclusive Penn State trip or maybe you're sharing a departure with other like-minded travelers, you know that the destination will be brought to life in a meaningful and authentic way. Through that, we do have relationships with vendors and suppliers all around the world that give you exclusive access. In our work, we really try to ensure that the travel experience that you have is in depth and meaningful and authentic versus a voyeuristic type of travel. So that exclusive access to experiences is something that you can enjoy. And so as you'll see on the next slide, we have a full dedicated guest services team. And so when you're traveling with Orbridge on a Penn State tour, you will have a single point of contact for all of your questions and all of that assistance that you need from the time of registration up until the time of your tour departure. We also have an in-service flight department. We provide curated expedition libraries of high quality resources to help get you excited for the tour. And all of our programs are led by a dedicated travel director or expedition leader. So you know that from your point of arrival on tour all the way until the time that you depart to head back home, you're going to be in the expert hands of professional full-time staff members to make that experience all that you had hoped for. And so on the next slide, this is just a snapshot. These are of the 2025 tours that are still on the docket. So if you have any availability in your schedule and you're looking to travel with Penn State, just wanted to call to attention that there are some 2025 offerings. But on the next slide, you'll see our full lineup of the 2026 tours. And so we're proud to have 6 different programs, some in our own backyard in Yellowstone National Park, as far away as the Galapagos and the Italian lakes, which I'll be talking about briefly this evening. So on the next slide, you'll see that first program, the Italian Lakes and Swiss Alps by Luxury Train. And so this program is June 9th through 18th of 2026. And on the next slide, you'll see a brief overview of the itinerary. So on this program, you're going to embark on a journey through the heart of Europe, where the boundless beauty of Italy and Switzerland are going to unfold before your eyes as you take part in this experience. So you're going to have an exceptional blend of culture and richness, where you're going to be visiting these historic villages with breathtaking views of the Alps. And so on the next slide, you'll see a few of the photo highlights from this program, where you're going to be from the tranquil shores of Lake Garda to the peaks of the Matterhorn. You'll experience a seamless fusion of adventure and relaxation, whether you're on the next slide, just taking in some of the relaxing scenery, or as you're going through the gliding mountain landscapes aboard some of these iconic trains. And so with this program, you'll have some highlighted features include the 360-degree rotating cable car. You'll also have other experience such as, of course, having that time aboard the Bernia Express, which is the highest mountain railway in all of the Alps. The Glacier Express, where you're going to travel over 291 bridges and 91 tunnels. So a really immersive and incredible way to experience. You'll see on the next slide, again, just a few photo highlights from this particular program. Before that next slide, you'll see that there is an optional pre-tour as well. So this pre-tour will be in the Prosecco region. And so this is in the northeast region of Italy. And this is an area you probably have heard of Prosecco, the beverage that we may enjoy. But this pre-tour will be an immersive experience into an area that's a little bit more off the beaten path. path. So maybe you've been to Italy before, but maybe not Prosecco. So we would love that opportunity to have you join us there, where you're going to be staying in Palazzo Scamozzi, which is an incredible villa for the 2 nights that you are on the pre-tour. There's also an option to extend your program after the main tour. And so on the next slide, you'll see information about the optional post tour. And so the optional post tour for this program is in the Mount Blanc. And so here you're going to visit preserved historical sites and Roman ruins, as well as have a cable car experience of Mount Blanc itself. So those are just a few highlights of our Italian Lakes and Swiss Alps tour. And then on the next slide, we'll start a bit of information about the Galapagos Islands tour. So this is an exclusive Penn State departure that we're really excited to deliver. And this will be in November. So November 17th through the 24th of 2026. And on the next slide, you'll see a brief overview of the itinerary. So this program starts with a cultural immersion experience in Quito. So we'll have a couple nights in Quito at the historic Casa Gangotena Hotel before having the flight over to the Galapagos. On this program, one of our points of pride is the intimate nature of this program. So we take over the entire vessel as a full charter of only 40 guests maximum. And as you see on the next slide, these are a few photos of the cultural experiences that you'll have in Quito before you even make your way over to the Galapagos. So you'll visit local markets, connect with local individuals, visit places of religious significance. So you'll have right off of the bat a meaningful and rich understanding of the people and the culture of Ecuador. On the next slide, you'll then start to see some of the highlights of the Galapagos experience itself. And so you'll be led by your faculty member and a team of naturalists that will be with you for the entire duration. You'll always be in small groups so that you have that up close and personal experience. You'll visit the Charles Darwin Center, see the turtles, and then on the next slide, you'll also see some of the experiences that are provided to you. So all of your shore excursions are included. So being able to go snorkeling, hiking, going on Zodiac rides, glass bottom boat rides. So all of those will be available to you, and those are included with the program cost. On the next slide, you'll see a photo of the Isabella too. So this is, like I said, a Penn State exclusive departure next November. Only 40 guests maximum on this intimate experience. Everything included for you. So once you arrive, you'll be able to have that wildlife immersion over the islands of through the Galapagos. On the next slide, you will see information about the optional Mosh Pee Lodge pre-tour. And so this is a 3-night pre-tour where 2 of those nights are going to be at the award-winning Mosh Pee Lodge. So you'll be in the rainforest for those 2 nights, and you'll have a team of guides who are going to be able to put together an experience that you want. And so whether that is going on hikes, whether that is going bird watching, whatever you may wish to desire when you are in the rainforest, you'll have a team that will be there with you leading interpretive experiences through the rainforest at Mosh Pee Lodge. This program also has a post tour to Machu Picchu. So at the conclusion of the Galapagos cruise, if you are interested in extending your stay, you'll be able to then continue on to Machu Picchu. It's a 5-night post tour experience. Again, all of the excursions are included with the primary highlight being the visit to Machu Picchu itself. And so you'll be staying in the Sacred Valley and then heading over to the Machu Picchu Pueblo Hotel, where you'll have multiple opportunities to have guided experiences at the Machu Picchu ruins. On the next slide, as I wrap up, we are proud to be able to provide any guest who signs up for a Penn State tour before July 28th, so a little over a month from now. If you visit the Penn State and Orbridge co-branded website, which is listed at the bottom of the screen, psu.orbridge.com, If you go on that page, it'll list all of the tours that we're partnering together. And if you do sign up for any of the tours, like I said, before July 28th, just put PSU travel webinar in the incentive code box, and we will then automatically apply a $125 per person savings that'll be deducted from the final amount owed. And with that, on the next slide, you'll see just one final group shot of a group of recent Penn Staters on one of our national parks program. And I hope that on behalf of the entire Orbridge team, that we do have the pleasure of welcoming you on one of our upcoming Penn State Orbridge tours in 2026. Thank you.
Thanks, Sam. We do have a question here for you. So for these specific trips that you spoke about, is there a single supplement? And if so, is Orbridge able to pair single travelers together at all?
Great question. So the tours do have a single supplement. It varies based off of the tour itself and the category type. And if there is a single guest who would be interested in a roommate, all we would need to know is that they are interested, so that if we did have another single traveler express interest in that tour, we can facilitate an introduction. So then that way the two travelers or prospective travelers could communicate amongst themselves to see if they would be a suitable match. And then if so, then we would be able to pair them together.
Okay, great. Also, for one other quick question, so if somebody's alumni and they haven't been active in a while in the Alumni Association, or maybe I read the question incorrectly, but if somebody has questions about like activity levels and things like that on a trip, are they able to call Orbridge and maybe get some more information on if a trip is, up to their abilities and things like that?
Definitely. Yeah, making an informed decision about your ability to participate fully is a huge part of that travel decision process. And so our team would certainly be happy to answer questions, go into a lot of detail. And then also, when you're on the Penn State Orbridge co-branded website, all of our tours do have a dedicated activity level section, which goes into details about potentially the number of steps, if there are any elevation considerations. So there's also information about activity expectations on each tour's website on the psu.orbridge.com site.
Great. All right. Well, thank you, Dan. We'll move along in our presentation here. We actually have a special message from Carter Hunt. He's an associate professor of recreation, park, and tourism management and anthropology here at University Park. Carter is currently in the Galapagos Islands right now, so he couldn't join us live, but we're excited to have him return as our host for the 2026 Galapagos trip that Dan just talked about. He's incredibly knowledgeable and has already hosted this trip for us, I think about 4 times. So if you choose this departure, you'll experience the islands alongside someone who truly knows them inside and out. So let's hear from Carter as he shares more about himself and the 2026 Galapagos adventure.
Hello folks, this is Carter Hunt, Associate Professor of Recreation, Park, and Tourism Management and Anthropology here at Penn State University, and I want to welcome you to our November 2026 Galapagos Expedition, put together by the Penn State Alumni Association. I've been working in Galapagos since the year 2012. This will be approximately my 16th trip to Galapagos Islands. I first began working there as a postdoctoral scholar, and since joining the faculty here at Penn State in 2012, I've been selected as a Fulbright scholar to work with the Charles Darwin Foundation in Galapagos, and I've spent close to 30 months there in the last few years. So we look forward to sharing some educational content in the program and to introducing you to this place that Charles Darwin called the little world unto itself. On this trip, we'll see places that have changed very little since Charles Darwin first visited there in 1835. In the remote parts of the western itinerary we'll be enjoying, there's very limited long-term human presence here. So as we walk around in the trails accompanied by our naturalist guides, we'll be very likely to encounter some of the same conditions that Charles Darwin did walking around these areas. We'll see subtle variations in species as we move between the islands that helped him come up with his very influential theories of evolution and natural selection. While I've carried out research in many locations across Latin America and Africa, there really is no place like Galapagos. The nature will be, some cases, stepping right over our feet while we're on the trail. It's a place where life has evolved without presence of humans, Wildlife doesn't have a flea response around us, so we don't just see nature from a distance, we'll have a chance to be immersed right in it. So there really is no place that compares to Galapagos. No matter how many times I've visited myself, I get just as excited every time. Young or old, well-traveled, or getting to know the world for the first time, the Galapagos never disappoints. Hope to see you in the little world unto itself in November 2026.
Great. Always love hearing from Carter. He's so knowledgeable about the Galapagos Islands, so we're happy to have him back. Moving along here, we have Mike Hall up next. He's the Senior Vice President of Sales and Business Development at AHI. He'll be sharing more about New Zealand, land of the long white cloud, and Umbria, the green heart of Italy. Mike, we'll turn it over to you now.
Great. Thanks, Jenny. And welcome, everybody. Thanks for taking time to join us today. Why don't we start with a quick intro to AHI Travel, in case you're not familiar. You can go to the next slide here. So AHI is a Chicago-based tour operator specializing in guided group tours worldwide for the well-educated traveler. Since 1962, we've been partnering with educational and cultural organizations to provide their alums, members, and friends with unique educational tours. And of course, one of those partnerships has been with the Penn State Alumni Association, going back somewhere in the neighborhood of around 40 years. So quite a long partnership that we're very proud of. The tours that we offer include first class and deluxe accommodations, transportation, excursions, lectures and discussions, hands-on activities, most of the gratuities and meals. So you can see that they're all-inclusive packages designed specifically for you and for alumni associations. Next slide, please. One of the other things that is included is a professional travel director that leads each trip, that takes care of all of the logistics along the way so that you don't have to worry about it. We do feel that we have some of the best travel directors in the industry. And we all know that the person that's leading the tour can make or break the experience for you. And we're very happy to say that we feel we have some of the best. Next slide. So for 2026, we have 11 total trips with Penn State. Today, we're going to feature two, as Jenny mentioned. The first of those is a trip down to New Zealand. This is a land-based tour, April 10 to 26. It's a 17-day program that hits both the North and the South Islands, 28 passengers maximum, so nice small group. And one of the things I really like about this trip is the diversity of the experiences. You'll explore cultural cities, both large and small, see stunning natural beauty from waterfalls to glaciers, gardens, mountains, fjords, you name it, you'll see it. Observe wildlife in natural settings, visit the New Zealand wine country, learn about the ancient Maori culture and legends, etc., etc. Next slide, please. So to go through in order of the itinerary, obviously you fly into Auckland, the cultural capital of New Zealand, the city of sails, as it's referred to, as it sits between two harbors. Next slide. From there, then, we'll take a flight down to Wellington. So you're still in the North Island, but you're at the very southern tip of the North Island here. Wellington is the capital of New Zealand. And one of the things that you'll do while you're in Wellington is go to the Zealandia Sanctuary, wildlife sanctuary, where you'll have a chance to see the flora and fauna of New Zealand and all of its uniqueness, including things like kiwi birds, etc. The next, you'll then take a ferry from Wellington over to Blenheim. And of course, in Blenheim, you are in the Marlborough wine country of New Zealand. So you'll get a chance to explore the wine culture and the wine production in New Zealand. From there, then, you'll head down to Christchurch, considered the most English city outside of England. Here you will stay in a hotel near gardens. You'll visit a botanical garden there. And from Christchurch is where you'll take the Trans Alpine train, considered one of the most beautiful train rides in all of the world, and especially in New Zealand. From there, then you'll head down to Franz Josef, where you'll see the Franz Josef Glacier. So we'll take a nice hike out into the mountain area. As you can see here, you're now hitting the mountainous part of New Zealand, and take a hike out to see the glacier, which you can see a little bit of down in that picture in the right-hand corner. And then from Franz Josef, we'll head down to Queenstown, my favorite city in New Zealand, actually. It's a alpine lake setting, a mountain lake setting. It's considered the adventure capital of the world. Things like bungee jumping were invented here, and they have shot over jet boat rides and all kinds of different adventure sports that are home in Queenstown. And of course, from here is where you'll get a chance to head down to the fjord area of New Zealand to see Doubtful Sound. So here on this last slide, just a nice selection of pictures that shows the diversity of the different experiences that you can have if you join us on this particular trip. For the next program, very different style. This is a 9-day Unpack Once tour to Italy. We have a whole series of these Unpack Once programs. Penn State has done them many times in the past and has a couple of others for 2026 as well. But the idea is to unpack once, settle into a smaller town or village, and get a chance to explore a region in depth, as opposed to moving around a lot and covering more geography. You explore an area in depth. This particular trip to Umbria, it has a maximum of 28 passengers. This will be an exclusive Penn State Alumni Association group. And this is one that is part of several trips that are being offered that are no single supplement. So if you're a solo traveler, you can travel on the trip, have the room to yourself, and not have to pay the extra supplement that is normally needed for singles. Where is Umbria? Well, you can see here on the map, it's in the very middle part of Italy. It's just south of Tuscany, has rolling hills and hilltop towns like you've probably heard about in Tuscany. Our home base for this one will be Perugia. That is kind of considered the capital of Umbria, known for its chocolate. You'll have a chance to experience some of the chocolate making there in Perugia. You can see the whole hotel here where you're staying. And the picture is kind of hidden by the tree there, but the view from this hotel, it sits up on a cliff here. You can kind of see the beautiful view that you'll have from the hotel. But Perugia will be your home for the 7 nights that you're there. You'll then explore into Tuscany a little bit, going to Cortona, which you may recognize as where Frances May's home is and was the center for the book and movie Under the Tuscan Sun. Go to the hilltop town of Montepulciano, which is known for its wine. And then cities in Umbria like Gubbio, a very medieval town, Assisi, St. Francis of Assisi obviously came from here. The town of Orvieto, another hilltop town with amazing views of the valleys around. Next slide, please. And then just a collection of different images of the areas that you'll see. The first one that popped in there, that is the church there, St. Francis Church in Assisi. And of course, popping in here at the bottom, you can't go to Italy without the foods, the olive oils, the pastas, etc. Next slide. So I mentioned that there are 9 other trips that AHI is partnering with Penn State for 2026. Here is the list of those. If you want more details on any of these, you can go to the website that you can see there at the bottom. It's a wide variety from the Far East to Egypt to Peru, and some river cruises in Europe as well. So that is the lineup for, oh, almost forgot. As a Penn State alum, you automatically get a $250 per person off of the discount of the price. If you book by a certain date, which varies depending on the tour. But in addition to that, if at the time that you book, if you choose to pay in full, you save an additional $500 per person. So that gives you the opportunity to save up to $750 per person off of a trip if you book by the date and pay in full at the time of booking. And that is the intro to AHI, and we would be very honored to have you participate in any of the trips that we are running together with Penn State in 2026.
Thank you so much, Mike. A question that we get a lot often is, the no single supplement trips. Can you explain what that means and why it's a benefit to solo travelers if it's a no single supplement trip?
Yeah, sure. So, the when tours and cruises are priced, this is how they're done throughout the travel industry. The cost of the program is divided by two based on two people sharing a room or a cabin. If one person then occupies that room or cabin, the revenue taken in is less, and so therefore a single supplement is added so that the room at least gets some of that revenue back. If there is no single supplement, it means that additional amount that a single has to pay is zero. And we're able to do this on our European river cruise programs where we charter the vessels, and on a number of our single stay 9-day programs where the hotels are kind enough to participate and agree to allow the singles to travel without any supplement.
Great. Yes, and if any of the viewers are curious about which trips are no single supplement, meaning that, our solo travelers pay the same price as everybody else, we do have those marked on our website. So if you go on our website, look at the details of each trip, they do say which ones are no single supplement. So like the Umbria one that Mike Hall was discussing was one of the ones that's no single supplement. So as a solo traveler, you would pay the same price as everyone else, which is nice.
Yeah, the other ones for 2026 would include the Dutch Waterways program, the Europe's Historic Rivers program, and the Pleasures of Provence program as well.
Okay, great. And one other quick question is, we're always advertising just one date for each of our trips, within the year. So if, that particular date for somebody didn't work for one of the trips, are they able to call AHI and maybe see if other dates are available this year or next year?
Of course. So all of the trips that we're talking about, we run multiple departures of. One of those is designated as the Penn State departure, and we encourage the Penn State travelers to book on that date so that they can travel together. However, we recognize that people's schedules don't always allow for that date to work. And in that case, we're happy to accommodate them on any of the other departure dates on a space available basis. You would continue to travel as a Penn State traveler on that trip. You just may be sharing the departure with passengers from other universities.
Great. Well, thank you very much, Mike. We will continue moving on with our presentation and we'll make sure we continue to get to more questions at the end. But next we will have Claudia Dunn, Manager of Special Interest Groups at Odysseys Unlimited. She will be discussing the trips Paradors and Posadas and Africa's wildlife. So Claudia, the floor is yours.
Great, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to thank Jenny, Carrie, and the Alumni Association for bringing us all together tonight. My name is Claudia Dunn, and I'm a program manager at Odysseys Unlimited. Next slide, please. Odysseys Unlimited is a tour operator based outside of Boston, Massachusetts, that specializes in small group travel. For 27 years, we have been providing high quality, affordable group travel to alumni groups. This year, we are excited to begin our 25th year of partnering with Penn State. Next. For those of you who have traveled with Odysseys, thank you. For those who have not joined us, here's a brief overview about our company and tours. We limit the size of our groups between 12 to 24 guests, providing an intimate experience. Our tour directors rank among the best in the business and greatly contribute to the educational experience of the trip. And our tours include flights, extensive sightseeing, many meals, unique accommodations, often including stays in boutique-style hotels and historic properties. Next slide, please. In 2026, Odysseys Unlimited is thrilled to team with Penn State to offer 3 unforgettable adventures to Portugal and Spain, Africa, and Portrait of Italy. Today, I'll share a closer look at 2 of these exciting adventures. Next slide, please. Our first tour is Paradors and Posadas from April 13th through the 27th. Join us on an exclusive 15-day journey to discover the best of the Iberian Peninsula. Along the way, we stay in intimate lodgings of Portugal's Posadas and Spain's Paradors for $5,874 per person, including airfare from Boston and New York. And an optional 4-day, 3-night post-tour extension to Barcelona is available for $995 per person. Next slide, please. Our journey kicks off in Lisbon, where we stay at the Corinthia Lisbon. This hotel features a variety of amenities, including a heated indoor pool, a spa, 3 restaurants, and a chocolate boutique, perfect for anyone with a sweet tooth. Next slide, please. We delve into Lisbon's rich history with visits to the iconic Belém Tower, the Monument to the Discoveries, and a guided stroll through Figueira Square, the heartbeat of Lisbon. Next slide, please. In Estremoz, we stay at the Posada Castillo Estremoz, a former royal palace steeped in history and charm. From its serene gardens and inviting outdoor pool, take in panoramic views of picturesque Estremoz below. Next, we explore Evora, a UNESCO-listed treasure and historic university town rich in Roman and Moorish heritage. Highlights include the Roman Temple, lively Giraldo Square, and the Church of St. Francis, with its eerie yet fascinating Chapel of Bones, built by 16th century monks to respectfully house remains from overcrowded cemeteries. Next, heading east, we cross into Spain and settle into the Parador de Carmona, a beautifully restored 14th century Moorish fortress. Next, we make our home base in the historic town of Carmona, perched high above the Andalusian plains. From here, we set out on day trips to explore the region's cultural and historical treasures. We visit Mérida, once the Roman capital of ancient Lusitania, famed for its remarkably preserved Roman ruins, then Sevilla, the lively capital of Andalusia, where we visit the stunning Alcazar Palace, and finally Córdoba, with its maze of narrow streets and whitewashed houses. Next. We leave Carmona behind and head south to the Parador de Ronda, perched on the edge of El Tajo Canyon. This 18th century former town hall offers stunning canyon and river views. Next, in Ronda, one of Spain's most storied hill towns, we explore the Santa Maria la Mayor Cathedral, elegant centuries-old bridges over El Tajo Gorge, and Casa de Mondragon, the historic former home of Moorish kings. Next, we stay one night in Parador de Úbeda, situated in the main square. This 16th century Renaissance building was the first palace transformed into a parador. Next, before arriving at our parador in Úbeda, we journey to the captivating city of Granada, nestled in the foothills of the Sierra Nevadas. There we explore the breathtaking Alhambra Palace and its renowned General Life Gardens, an exquisite blend of Moorish architecture and natural beauty. Next slide. For the final stay of our journey, we unwind at the elegant Wellington Hotel, a Madrid classic nestled in the upscale Salamanca district, just steps from boutiques, parks, and the city's famed Golden Mile. The hotel features 4 distinctive dining options, including a Michelin-starred Japanese restaurant. Next slide. On our way to Madrid, we stop in Toledo, the medieval crown jewel of Spain. Frozen in time and declared a national landmark, this city looks just like it did back in the 16th century, right out of an El Greco painting. While in Madrid, we explore Plaza Mayor and the historic Moorish quarters, savor local tapas, and visit the renowned Prado Museum to visit masterpieces by Goya, El Greco, and Velázquez. On our final evening, we come together for a farewell dinner and say adios. Next slide, please. Our next tour is Africa's Wildlife from September 20th to October 3rd. Step back into a timeless world on this unique, exclusive safari through Botswana, Zambia, and Victoria Falls for $10,484 per person, including airfare from Boston, New York, and Washington, D.C. An optional 4-day, 4-night post-tour extension to Cape Town is available for $1,895 per person. Next slide. Our adventure begins at 54 on Bath, a contemporary hotel perfectly situated in the heart of Johannesburg's trendy Rosebank neighborhood, where our rooms will be ready for an early check-in. Next slide, please. We explored Johannesburg's Soweto district to see Archbishop Desmond Tutu's home, to visit Nelson Mandela's former home, and to visit the Hector Peterson Memorial. We hear firsthand stories from a local witness of the 1976 uprising. Next slide. Just minutes from Victoria Falls, Pioneers Lodge blends pioneer charm with modern eco-friendly comfort. Relax by 2 pools, dine indoors or under the stars, and unwind in lush gardens. Rooms offer private baths, garden view verandas, and all the essentials for a restful stay. Next, we fly to Victoria Falls, where we witness the awe-inspiring falls, first discovered by David Livingstone and claimed for Queen Victoria in 1855. With its 300-foot deep gorge and misty spray, Vic Falls is a breathtaking natural wonder. Next. While here, we connect with the community during a visit to a local school, then unwind aboard a sundowner dinner cruise on the Zambezi, spotting wildlife along the shore and in the water. Next, we settle into Chobe Marina Lodge, ideally located along the Chobe River near the park entrance. Surrounded by lush gardens, the lodge offers a pool, spa, and a range of dining and bar options. Next, we travel 2 hours by motor coach to Botswana's Chobe National Park, home to one of Africa's densest concentrations of wildlife. We get into a relaxed rhythm of early morning and late afternoon wildlife viewing drives, with leisure time at our Riverside Lodge in between. We also enjoy a river safari watching for hippos, crocodiles, and vibrant bird life. Next. Chobe National Park covers 4,500 square miles of varied terrain and is home to Africa's largest elephant population, along with zebras, lions, giraffes, and more, all of which we hope to spot during our visit. Next, we stay at Mufua Lodge, a beautifully secluded retreat nestled between 2 lagoons in South Luangwa National Park. Charming thatched chalets feature in-suite bathrooms, private verandas, and mosquito nets for a peaceful stay close to nature. Next, we fly to South Luangwa National Park, one of Africa's last pristine wildernesses. For 2.5 days, we embark on morning and evening wildlife viewing drives, where we may spot lions, elephants, leopards, rare crotchet zebras, wild dog, and nearly 400 bird species. Between safaris, we visit a local school, and a community borehole project providing vital water. For our last night here, we celebrate our wildlife adventure with new friends over a farewell dinner. Next, we fly to Lusaka, Zambia's capital, where we have a day room at Celia, Lusaka, until we depart for overnight flight to the US. Next slide, please. Thank you for your time. We hope you'll join us in 2026.
Thank you so much, Claudia.
You're welcome.
Let's see here. We did have a question come in about Penn State exclusive trips and kind of what that means. Can you elaborate more, since most of our trips with Odysseys, I feel like with you, are Penn State exclusive?
Yes, so it will only be Penn State alum, friends, and families that will be joining the trips. And that
Yes.
includes Portrait of Italy as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, and because sometimes on our trips, just for the audience awareness, we share departures with other universities or institutions because, it might be on a ship, or the accommodations, we just need, beyond Penn Staters to be able to fill the accommodations and things like that. So all of the trips aren't exclusive, but some of ours are. And that's another thing that's listed nicely on our website, is if you go to more details under our trips, you can see which ones are exclusive just for Penn Staters. Also, Claudia, since Odyssey's trips, a lot of them have the airfare included. Not all of our trips also, don't have the airfare included. So could you elaborate a little bit more on, how that works?
Sure. So we contract with airlines, and we do have, so the I had advertised a price with air included to the gateway that's included for that trip. And then in addition, you can depart from your city of choice. The price might just be different. Along with that too, if you choose, I had mentioned this earlier, you can travel as land only and purchase your own airfare, and then just connect with the group in country.
Okay, great. Well, thank you very much. Let's move on
Thank you,
here.
Jenny.
You're welcome. For our last presenter here, we have Josh Ogden, the Director of Business Development for Go Next. He will be discussing Australian Outback to Verdant, Bali, and delightful Duro and solar eclipse. So go ahead whenever you're ready, Josh.
All right. Hey, thank you so much, Jenny, and Penn State alumni. Thanks for making time for all of us today. So I know I'm sitting between you and dinner time right now, so I'm the last one of the day. But on the next slide, to formally introduce myself, my name is Josh Ogden. I'm the Director of Business Development at Go Next. And just to share a little bit about me, I've been in the travel industry for about a decade now, and I've traveled to 40 countries between 5 continents, and I have a passion for travel. So that is why I'm here. And I'm looking forward to sharing a couple of these destinations to you. So I share just a personal picture there in Alaska at the Maury Glacier, and that glacier is 300 feet tall above the water, and that is from an ocean cruise liner. But moving along, just to tell you a little bit more about Go Next. Go Next is a leading professional in group travel, and we've done this for over 50 years. So it's still privately held and a family-run company based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota. And we want to take you all around the world. So we only work with specific organizations like alumni and like bar associations, et cetera, throughout the country. And so you probably don't recognize us on the retail side or see any sort of advertisements. So we are behind the scenes. But we primarily offer ocean and river cruises, both domestically and abroad. But moving along, something else on our itineraries besides the ocean cruises and the river cruises, we offer both pre and post land-based excursions. And so we've designed those specifically for our Go Next guests. And that is designed in-house with the wonderful relationships we have around the world with our product manager, who's worked with us for a number of decades. But continuing on, you're here for the destinations themselves. So one of the 5 itineraries that Penn State is offering for 2026 is the fantastic Australian Outback and Verdant, Bali. So this trip happens early next year, starting in February, and this is a 14-night itinerary to explore mostly the northeastern Australia and northernmost city of Australia as you get into Indonesia to visit Komodo and Bali. But how you're going to do that on the next slide is by cruise ship. So this is on an Oceania cruise. And so I know some people's perceptions of cruises, they think, oh, it's a party, etc., but not with Oceania. It's very adult focused, and it's also considered a small ocean ship. So this particular ship you'll be traveling on in February only accommodates just over 1,200 guests, but you're going to have some of the finest cuisine at sea, and that all the specialty dining is included. You're going to have more square footage in a cabin category. And also, you're going to have even a pickleball court on this particular ship on the Riviera as you travel from Sydney up to Bali. And moving along, just to show you just a glimpse of some of the amenities inside, this is a balcony cabin known as a veranda. It's more spacious. And also, you're going to have 24-hour room service, butler service, you want to call it, and gratuities are taken care of. And so it's very inclusive and adult focused, and it does not cater to young children. So there's no I guess, amusement parks at sea here. It is about immersing you into the destination, and you're going to find that Oceania has more time in ports, more overnight stays, and more of a community feel on board. And also, you don't have to dress up in a tux every day, but it is at the ultra premium / luxury level. And it's more of a country club casual on board Oceania. On to the next slide, just to show you the restroom and shower. So it's more spacious. So even walk-in showers in the veranda category. And instead of, I like to make fun of some other cruise ships are really small where you have to almost spin in place in order to shower. So much more luxurious and relaxing on board. But continuing on, we do want to talk about the destination itself. So starting here, this is your home port. We're going to fly into Sydney, Australia. And this is a place where you do have the option to book one of those pre-night excursions for 3 nights down there, or even just get in a day early, and we can help you with that and scheduling the air accordingly and take care of all the transfers and those details to get you well rested before you hop on board. But if you're in Sydney, I mean, a must is seeing the Sydney Opera House, this maybe climbing the Sydney Harbour Bridge to the top like my parents did, and also maybe watch some surfers at Bondi Beach. And this will be our first port until we head up the East Coast to Brisbane. But along the Gold Coast and then getting into the Sunshine Coast, this is where we're going to visit Mululabu. And so this is the biggest draw card here. I mean, it's for its aquatic animals. And so it's home to an award-winning sea life aquarium. And it would almost be a crime not to take a whale watching cruise here. But better yet, you even have the chance to go into the water with these incredible creatures. So talking about like humpback whales and even maybe non-whales, the dolphins are prevalent in this area as well. And so, but as we continue to head up the East Coast, we're going to get to Whitsunday Island and Arley Beach. And this has just got some stunning natural beauty, and it gives you the access to the Great Barrier Reef. And it's got this relaxed tropical atmosphere, which I think you'll really enjoy. And so if you like sailing or snorkeling or diving, this is a wonderful place to see the natural beauty and one of the biggest draws, the Great Barrier Reef here in Australia. But as we're getting up more north, you're going to get up to Cairns. And a lot of people say Cairns, but it is pronounced Cairns by the locals. And here we're going to get more into the tropical region of Australia. So you'll have the chance to even take a Skyrail rainforest cableway, or you can even take a relaxing train ride through the rainforest in this area. And just one of the many options that Cairns has to offer. But as we get into our next port of Cooktown, this is where you're going to find a wealth of beauty, and it's got a rich and diverse Aboriginal culture. And it's also got a very colorful pioneering history. And as you can tell, even just right now, there's lots of ports on an Oceania cruise because the whole idea is to get you off the ship versus keep you on the ship like other lines out there. So you're going to have less sea days on any Oceania itinerary, and you're going to see more unique destinations and smaller ports that other larger ships cannot get into. But on to our next stop, we're getting up into the largest city of the Northern Territory and probably one of the most culturally diverse in the entire country. And so between the sizable indigenous population up here in Darwin and all the folks from Australian, European, and Southern Asian and Chinese and Indian backgrounds who call it home, it makes it a very unique and diverse place to visit. But I think one of my favorites is the food of this particular location. So with all those unique backgrounds, you're going to find some excellent cuisine as you explore Darwin, Australia. But now we're headed up to Indonesia. And so in this time of year, still February, it's going to be summer down there and winter here. So it's a nice time to escape the cold, but it's going to only get warmer for you as we stop here in Komodo. And Komodo, and by namesake, is the only place you will have the chance to see the Komodo dragon in their natural habitat. And it is the largest lizard species in the world. But if you're not into lizards, that's okay. And then you want to relax or check out something unique, they do have pink sand beaches and vibrant coral reefs just teeming with marine life here in Komodo, Indonesia. But then it's on to Bali. And in particular, this first port of Bali, we're going to have two ports in Bali. One's on the north side of Bali, and then the second will be on the south side of Bali, Indonesia. So you're going to get a few days in Bali, and it's a quick trip. I mean, even if the size of Bali from the north to the south port is really a 3.5, 4 hour drive. So that gives you the idea of how the size of Bali. But this is a great place to visit, and I went to recently this spring for a little bit of adventure and unique wildlife, and it's got very tropical atmosphere and mountainous, especially in the north side of the island. And it's definitely known for its beautiful beaches, but Bali became popular because it is probably the most spiritual island in all of Indonesia. So a very rich population of Buddhists and Hindus and everything in between. So the most spiritual. And if you like different types of things that are grown here, it has a rich volcanic soil, so it's a volcanic island, and they grow excellent coffee. And then they have these beautiful terraced rice paddies that are just majestic and photogenic too. And then our final stop on this itinerary would be in Banoa. This is on the south side of the island. So this is where more of those pristine beaches, little flatter areas are. And also there's a bunch of different temples and things to visit down here. And so it is quite relaxing. But before I go to the next slide, I'll tell you a story. It's one of the temples I visited has a ton of these monkeys going around. And so they're indigenous to the region, and they're quite pesky, actually. So they warn you to put things away or keep them in your pockets because they will steal things, including on the next slide, my sunglasses, if you can see there. So my sunglasses got stolen by a monkey in Bali, Indonesia. So don't wear your sunglasses in this region. Snuck up behind me while I was taking a picture, and quite the thief. And it took him right off my face. So I was wearing my sunglasses trying to take a photo, and he was as smooth as could be. I could barely feel it slip off, and I thought somebody was joking with me. So there you go. Maybe that's an experience you can have, but I wouldn't recommend getting your sunglasses chewed on or stolen by a monkey. All right. And to a different part of the world. So this is the delightful Douro, and with the solar eclipse here included. So yes, we're including the solar eclipse. We can control the sun and the moon, but no, we've just timed it to be over this particular date and time. So this is going to be the delightful Douro next August, and this is a 7-night river cruise. So we use Emerald River Cruises, which is a 5-star river cruise line in Europe, and they also do small passenger yachts in the Mediterranean that we also offer as well. So to show you a little bit more, just like the ship, and then the port of Porto, and then some of the inclusions on the next slide that you'll find on any of our itineraries with Emerald is well, you're prepaid onboard in offshore gratuities, taxes, fees, and there's an excursion included almost every day. Wi-Fi, wine, beer, soft drinks at lunch and dinner, and just immersive dining experiences inspired by the local region. But the capacity here on this particular ship, and to show you some of the rooms, is only 112 guests. So 112 guests will be on this itinerary to see get to the point of totality next year in Portugal. And we actually already have 21 guests signed up from Penn State. So Penn State is taking almost 20% of the cabins already for next August. So if you are interested, I would recommend signing up right away, and let's make this a Penn State river cruise to the point of totality. But with this itinerary, we're starting in Porto and ending in Porto, and it is known for, of course, its port wine, but it's got a lot of wonderful architecture and museums and a very relaxed atmosphere, and it is your entrance to the Douro River Valley. But in moving along, you're just going to see lots of stunning scenery, renowned wine production areas, and there's this charming atmosphere. And even as we get onto the next pretty picture for you, we're going to move into the Spanish River port town located on the Douro River, serving as the gateway to the city of Salamanca. And this gives you excellent proximity to the Douro International Nature Park. But moving along to Salamanca, Spain, why you'd visit here is because it's considered the quintessential Spanish Renaissance city. So you're getting two countries on this itinerary along the Douro River. But then we'll get back into Portugal, into the region renowned for its stunning landscapes and terraced vineyards and production of specifically port wine. But even if you're not a wine drinker, this is absolutely a wonderful area to visit and very relaxed atmosphere, even to enjoy a tour in one of these wonderful cities. And just a couple more slides here for you. But this evening, this is on August 12th of next year, is when the solar eclipse happens. And in particular for GoNext guests who are traveling with Penn State alumni, we will actually take a motor coach from the ship out into the countryside to the point of totality. So it'll be a short drive there, and that's specifically, for our GoNext guests. And so it'll be an excellent experience to see the solar eclipse next August. And then we'll conclude in Porto, Portugal, and I think you will have had an awe-inspiring and wonderful experience seeing not only the eclipse, but the wonderful regions of both Spain and Portugal along the Douro River. So thank you so much, and I appreciate your attention today.
Thanks, Josh. That's funny. The picture about the monkey, I can't get that out of it. Did you get the sunglasses back?
Oh,
Or they're
no,
gone, just gone forever.
No, they're gone. Yeah, that monkey has some big teeth, and I didn't want to mess with it. So he was stepping on my glasses and bending them and chewing on them. So I didn't really want them back, but it's okay.
So take cheaper sunglasses too, maybe in case it happens.
I would recommend that. Yes.
We did have a question that came in, I guess, like for Australia, but even for any
Sure.
of GoNext, like cruises, can you explain a little bit about like activities or excursions, kind of what's included versus maybe what you would maybe have to pay extra for?
Yeah, absolutely. And so with any GoNext trip, whether it's on board an ocean ship or the river cruise, we will have a program manager with you that entire time. So it's like we call them tour managers, whatever, program manager, interchangeable, but they're there almost as your own concierge in addition to the crew. As far as on the Oceania side of it, we actually leave the tours up to you. So those would be an extra investment in your travel experience because everybody wants to do something a little bit different. But what we do even on the co-branded website, once you click on one of the itineraries from Penn State's alumni travel page, it will bring you to GoNext and Penn State's site, and it will give you a little bit more details, including a whole list of a lot of tours available in each port. And Oceania really tries to have probably at least double or triple the tours than any of the other cruise lines out there. So we'll highlight the ones that really do well, and not based on price. It's more about from our past and experience in these regions, which ones do people enjoy the most. So we'll give you those recommendations. And then on the river cruises, most of the tours will be included, unless there's something further away from the port that just might take way more time, then that might be an extra cost. But they have a tour included almost every day at every port.
Great, thank you very much. Well, I think we can have everybody come back on screen, and I see that the Q&A is slowing down a little bit. We did answer a lot of great questions tonight, and there's some information, in the chat of how you can get a hold of us if you have any questions afterwards. But maybe just as one final question, I'm like, who can I have answer this? But what makes traveling, do you think, with an alumni group, different from like a regular group or traveling with the general public? Maybe I'll just we'll have Mike answer that one. You can be the last one to answer one of the questions.
Thanks, Jenny. Can you repeat the question real
I
quick?
was just kind of asking, like, what sets like traveling with an alumni group apart, or like AHI or any of our tour operators that are more so used to working with like educational travel rather than just, booking a travel trip with any sort of tour group, kind of how it would be a different experience.
Yeah, it's actually a great question. I think it all starts from, and this would apply to all of the companies that spoke today. It all starts at the time that we start planning these tours, because all of our markets are primarily alumni association travelers. We're designing the itinerary, the inclusions, the educational content, etc., for an educated traveler that will be coming from a university alumni association. Other tours that you see out in the marketplace, they don't start with that as their base. And therefore, as you build it, it's going to end up being a different style of program than the one that is being designed for alumni association travel. I think the other key component too is who you're traveling with. If you sign up on, something in the general marketplace, you really don't know who you're going to be traveling with. You may have things in common with them, you may not. You're gambling a little bit there. But if you are traveling with an alumni association, you're traveling with other Penn State alums. Obviously, you've got the connection of attending the same university, experiences that you had on campus, love for the football team, whatever it may be. So it's both the design of the tour and then who you're traveling with that I think really separates out your tours from others that they can find out in the marketplace.
Thank you. Yeah, I agree. It's like you already have something in common, easy to strike up conversation. But yeah, with that, that concludes our program tonight. A big thank you again to our presenters, Dan, Mike, Claudia, and Josh, for giving us a great look at what's ahead in 2026. So we hope you're as excited as we are about the incredible destinations and experiences we have planned. You'll receive a short survey by email in the next few days, and we'd really appreciate it if you could take a few minutes to share your thoughts. Your feedback helps us continue to improve both this showcase and the alumni travel program overall. We've dropped helpful links in the chat, including where to view all of our 2026 trips. And as always, if you have any questions or want help deciding which trip is right for you, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks again for joining us. We can't wait to travel with you soon. Until then, safe travels. And as always, we are.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.